Okay, test, test, test. This is my first official YouTube video attempt. Oh my gosh, I hope it works. So I don't know if I can record a long video on here because it's got like a warning that said over 10 minutes, like it might not compress and like upload or something. So I'm scared to do a long video. So I'm going to do this in 10-minute chunks is my plan because I wrote down some notes about what I wanted to say. Oh, I should mention what this video is about. I'm assuming you're here because you want to learn about New Orleans. And so this is specifically for Calgarians going to New Orleans on like a vacation and just like fun recommendations in terms of what you should do and like how it's different from Calgary or the same, like what to expect. Well, I should have worn a different shirt. This is black on black isn't good. Again, this is my first YouTube video, guys. The lighting, the editing, it's going to be real rough. Okay, so what I want to talk about first is, first of all, congratulations, you're going to New Orleans, you got the trip booked, or you're thinking about making the trip, which is awesome. You're gonna freaking love it. I love New Orleans. It was so fun. So this was my second time in New Orleans, and the first time I went was like 10 years ago, and honestly, it like hasn't really changed a lot. Like some of the places that I went the first time around were exactly the same, like same bathrooms, same staircases. Like New Orleans is old, and it's like stays the same. It doesn't change, which is awesome. I think that's what makes it so unique. It's such like a historic city. Okay, so where to begin? I'm going to start with talking about flights. So if you live in Calgary, the shitty part is that you can't, can I say like swear words on YouTube? Does that block things? I don't know. I'll try to keep it PG. Okay, the crappy part is that if you are flying to New Orleans, it's not a great flight. I mean, obviously you're flying, you're not going to drive. Um, you can't go direct. It's long. You're going to have to take at least, you have to make at least one stop. So two flights, which is crappy. And it's not really cheap. Like we certainly didn't get a deal on flights. I don't know, maybe you can get a deal if you like book in advance or something, but it cost us like $1,000, which was more than I wanted to pay for the flight for sure. I think you can get it cheaper than that. You could probably get a deal. A deal would be like maybe 700 or something, I think. So yeah, the flights are crappy. It'll take a full day to get to New Orleans. There's no way around it. That's just how it is. But it's fun as you go there. You can have airport beers and you're excited. You're with your friends or significant other or whatever. Flight back is shitty though because you're all hungover and you have a full day of travel to go, which is crappy, but whatever. So that's just a heads up about that. In terms of going from the airport to your accommodations, I'll talk a little bit more about where to actually stay. There isn't, as far as I know, any like city transit. Like there's no bus, there's no what's the word, like a light rail transit bus station type thing to take you inner city. Or maybe there isn't, I just didn't know about it. But what we did both this time and the previous time I was there was we took a cab and it was about $60, or you can Uber too, which was about the same price. So like it wasn't crazy. So it was fairly convenient. The airport isn't super close to like the heart of New Orleans. Like I want to say it was like a 30-40 minute drive. I can't remember. When I was going there, I was a little bit, I'd had a couple beers, and then on the way back, I was very hungover. So that's why some of the details are a little fuzzy in this video. If you go to New Orleans, you're going to drink a lot. So yeah, just wanted to let you know about that. About $60 you can expect to expend if you get a cab or an Uber. I'm going to talk about accommodations in another clip where I can pull up a map for you guys and like actually show you where to stay. So stay tuned for part 2 when I learn how to attach videos together, or maybe, I don't know, we'll see. Let's talk about food. So food in New Orleans, like it's known for like Southern type food. So like Creole, like jambalaya type stuff. Gumbo's really good. I found the food both this time and last time a little bit hit or miss. Some was really good, some wasn't as good, and it's kind of, I found it a little bit tricky, I think is maybe the word, because there's a lot of touristy trap places. Like anywhere you go that is like heavily with tourists, you're gonna have the places that are like cheaper and just they're just tourist traps. So to avoid that, make sure you don't eat anywhere on Bourbon Street. Like Bourbon Street is a joke for food. Like they serve like 7-Eleven quality pizza. We were joking that's like prisoner pizza or something. Like it was like terrible. So it's like, don't eat anything on Bourbon Street, and like don't really eat anything like too close to Bourbon Street even. Like you want to get farther away from that to get to like more high quality restaurants, and even like farther from that to like seek out some actually good food. That's just a really general rule. You can look up ratings on like TripAdvisor or Google or whatever to like actually find good places. But your best bet is to like ask the locals, because they'll be able to tell you like what's a tourist trap or what's like a knockoff. Like for example, we went to this Willie's hot chicken place, and they're like there's like the original Willie's and there's like the knockoff Willie's, so you had to like make sure you were going to like the right place. Willie's chicken was really good. It was Willie's. Oh, now I don't know which one was the knockoff. Anyway, ask the locals, they'll tell you where to go that's actually good. Oh, and one thing you want to know about is that po' boys are like a really big thing in New Orleans. They'll be like, po' boys, get your po' boys here, get your po' boys. So what a po' boy is it's short for poor boy. And it's this food that was invented, I don't know when, a long time ago. And it's short for like, poor boys were eating these cheap sandwiches. It's just like a white crusty bread with like fried fish in it. That's like the original version. It's just like plain crusty bread and fish. And the updated version, it has like some condiments on it and maybe like some lettuce or something, but it's still like pretty bare bones. And like honestly, I thought they were gross. I thought it was super disappointing the first time I was in New Orleans, and my friend really wanted to try it this time around, and he tried it and he also thought it was gross, and he had it twice because he really wanted to give it like an extra try. Both times it was gross. So it's like maybe po' boys are an acquired taste, or maybe like if they like, I don't want to say like all po' boys are disgusting, because probably there's some good ones out there. But I don't know, maybe they have to have better toppings or condiments, or like an upscale po' boy would be like the way to go. And I think you can get not just fish. I think you can get like a chicken or beef po' boy or something, but like concepts like the same. It's like a slab of meat on like a white kind of bun thing. I don't know, they're not good. Anyway, I warned you, po' boys, lower your expectations. I did like the like jambalayas and like gumbos and stuff that we tried was really good. Oh, and I need to tell you about beignets. So everyone talks about like, oh, go to New Orleans, get the beignets. So the tourist trap place is Cafe du Monde, and that is like right in the French Quarter. There'll be a lineup there. You'll see it. Definitely, it's like a big place. All they serve is beignets and coffee. Like they don't even serve anything else because that's their cash cow. And I went there the first time I went to New Orleans so we could like do the touristy thing, and it was, I won't say it was gross. It wasn't gross, but it was a letdown. Like it was very mid. So I would say you could do it if you've got some time on your hands, or like I would go later at night. Like don't go during the day. If you went in the evening, then there isn't a lineup. I don't know what time they close. If you want to go to Cafe du Monde, but if you don't care where you get your beignets from, like get them anywhere else in the city, or ask a local where like good beignets are. You don't have to go to the touristy trap place. So there, that's a good tip for you to know. Okay, so I'm at 8 minutes now. I'm debating what I should tell you about next. Okay, maybe I'll wrap this part one up. And next I'm going to talk about what you need to bring and what to do and where to stay. Stay tuned, what I want to talk about is YouTube video where you want to stay in New Orleans. This is a map of New Orleans, and this is like the kind of heart of New Orleans. Oh, I don't know if you can see my mouse. Like I said, this amateur hour right now. Okay, but you want to stay close to Bourbon Street, but you don't want to stay on Bourbon Street because that is ridiculous. Bourbon Street is insane, and plus it's like I don't even think you can really have rentals there, like along the actual Bourbon Street. Like I think it's all bars. So yeah. Let's see. So Jackson Square is kind of like a main touristy area. There's lots of kind of restaurants around here and like art things, like local vendors. And there is Cafe du Monde, which I was talking about, where you can get the tourist trap beignets if you so feel like doing that. This place over here, I'll just mention, is a really famous bar that is like 300 years old or something like that. I think it was the late 1700s. It was built, so that's like a cool place to stop, but it's super busy. Just wanted to let you know that and get their hurricanes there. And okay, so where you want to stay? is you don't want to stay like right in here, like close to Bourbon Street. Like there's Bourbon Street, you can see it running kind of that crooked direction. You want to stay like either here, I'll show you where we stayed. We stayed like over here. And this area, I wish I knew what it was called, but it is south of Bourbon Street, and it was great. It was fantastic. It's a little bit more of I want to say like office-y buildings or shopping, like that kind of thing. There's still like a lot of restaurants in there too. But this area was great. So you are lower south of Bourbon Street, I guess. And it was awesome. So I highly recommend that area. It's a really short walk to Bourbon Street. Everything is very walkable in New Orleans, or like you want it to be walkable, I should say. You can also stay above Bourbon Street in this area, which is, I believe, still part of the French Quarter, or you can go above it, and I think this is called something weird like Marengy. Not good with French. Oh yeah, here you go. Marengy. You could stay in this Marengy area. That would be good too. Or in this Trem Lafitte area would also be good. So you want to stay like within this realm, walkable realm of Bourbon Street is what I would personally recommend. Because otherwise, you're going to have to constantly be Ubering into this area. And to me, it's like it's not worth the money to do that. I would rather just spend more money on Airbnb or in a hotel and be in the area that I want to be in. So that is my advice to you. It's not super cheap to stay in these areas. Like I think you can expect to spend maybe $200 a night. We were talking to a touristy guide who said like kind of on like off seasons, like he was saying November, you can get hotels for like $99 a night. But when it's super busy, like they can go up to like 300 or $400 a night, depending, right? We split ours. We got an Airbnb that was bigger and split it with like a big group of friends. There were 7 of us, which was awesome. So it was actually fairly affordable. So you just have to kind of look for those deals. Okay, so I think that's what I wanted to say about accommodations. Okay, let's talk about accommodations again. So I just wanted to add a little bit on about like safety. Like honestly, like there was never a time when I like didn't feel safe. Like I felt like there was always people around, and like it was always all the areas we were walking around are very touristy, so it's all very safe. But I will say probably not a great idea to like walk home alone or something, just as like general advice. Like I would kind of tell people not to really do that in Calgary. Also, one time I got beat up and robbed walking home in Calgary. So like it can happen in any city. So I'm just saying like probably walk with at least one other person just as a general safety rule, no matter where you are. Um, and also, along with safety, there is sadly a large homeless kind of drug addict population in New Orleans, and you will definitely see them around. They should leave you alone for the most part. Like, I think there was the odd person like asking us for spare change and whatever. And there's odd, like, crazy crackhead walking around screaming. But, like, I mean, every city has that, sadly. So just be warned of that. There is definitely those people around. You will see it. Okay, so that's all I want to say about accommodations. Let's talk about what to do, because this is so fun. Okay, I'll tell you guys what we did. We were there for 4 days, which is a good amount. Like, yeah, so you don't need like too long in New Orleans. Like, you could cram it into 2 days if you wanted. 4 days was good. Like, we had so much fun. I wanted to stay longer, but like my liver was like, Sarah, it's time home. It's good that I went home. I would say things you should do. Okay, we'll tell you what I did. So the first day we did, we didn't have anything official planned. We just went straight to Bourbon Street because my friends one other girl had been there, but the rest of them had never been to Bourbon Street before. And so I wanted to like show them the insanity. And so Bourbon Street, you should know, it is always busy. It's never not busy. You can pick any day of the week. There will be stuff happening. There will be people drinking. It's always partying. It's just the degree to which the partying is happening. It like never stops. Like it probably slows down at like 5, 6 a.m. and then people still start coming back in 10, 11 a.m. And so yeah, it is insane. It is so fun. It's just something to see. Like actually I should say if you're like nervous around crowds or like don't like partying or get claustrophobic or something, Bourbon Street is not for you because it is tight. It is a lot of people in a small amount of space. Like how I explained it to my friends, I was like, it's like a tiny, dirty Las Vegas. Like if you took like the entire Las Vegas strip and just like put it into like 100th of the size and just have like everyone in like 8 blocks or however many blocks it is, 8, 10 blocks, that's what it's like. So everyone, it's very crowded. People will be like bumping into you. Picture like the Red Mile, but like more craziness. Um, yeah, it's fun. It's super awesome. I really wanted to see some boobs, as you do, right? You go, you buy, you can definitely buy the beads, wear the beads. That is 100% a thing, super fun, and throw the beads. But I don't think like I don't know, it's just like not as much of a thing to have like women flashing. Maybe it's because no one was really doing it. So people were kind of scared to be like the first one. So like we just didn't really see it. I think I saw one girl flash her boobs and we were throwing beads at people and I got a girl to be like kind of like lift her shirt a little bit. So people weren't really into it. I mean, they were like laughing and being like, give us some beads. But we yeah, it doesn't really work like it did Girls Gone Wild in the 90s or like Mardi Gras. Like maybe Mardi Gras is different. I don't know. But we were there when there was a college university football game on there. So the Sunday, it was insane. There was so many people who were aged like, well, I guess they must have been probably 21, 22, like they were in school still. And we're like, oh, maybe these young girls are going to flash their boobs more than people had the earlier the weekend. No, they didn't. Like there was no change. So anyway, just setting expectations about boobs you're going to see. You're not really going to see a lot. At least I didn't last trip, and I did this trip. We did see a lot of male chests. So males will definitely lift their shirts for beads. So like if you're into that, like you can see some male nipples. Okay, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, I was just talking about like Bourbon Street in general. It's so fun. So you can just like spend your entire time there, like bar hopping. There's tons of places to get drinks, like they have the big Slurpee ones, like all the novelty drinks. Hurricanes is like the one that they're known for, or they have these grenade drinks. What else? They kind of popular ones. Dark and Stormy, Sazerac drinks. Those are kind of more for off the strip. It's like it's a lot of like garbage alcohol for the most part, right? And so it's actually I didn't find it too expensive on Bourbon Street because there is a lot of like kind of students who go there and stuff, and there's a lot of competition. So it's like they'll be like 5 shots for $5 or whatever. They have like all sorts of deals. Yeah, so we did like a lot of shots, good times, and yeah, you can just roam Bourbon Street and you're gonna have an amazing time with people you meet. There was a bar we found that we really liked that because we're like a little bit older. We had played like a lot of 90s tunes and they had like a piano and the guy was like doing all the tunes and everyone was dancing and they had like karaoke and so like we really liked that bar. I think it was called Ticklers, I want to say. It doesn't matter. You'll like run into it or whatever. So that was really good. And one thing I should mention is bring your ID. Like I'm 38 years old and I was getting ID'd, not in a lot of places, but like in enough that like you had to prove that weren't 21. So make sure you bring your ID with you. Yeah, you'll love it. Bourbon Street. Bourbon Street is the best. So freaking fun. Like, I want to go back. You should let me know when you go. I'll come with you. It's so fun. Oh, and I should say there's like all ages there. So like don't feel like you're old. You won't feel old. There will be people there way older than you. It is all ages, it is all types of people. You're gonna see everything, all walks of life. So like and it's not like fancier like Vegas where people are going out to like kind of be seen or wear a sparkly dress or wear heels. No, none of that. It's very casual, extremely casual. Everyone fits in, everyone's welcome. It's nice. And people in New Orleans are so nice. They're so accommodating. Everyone you meet just wants to party. That's great. Okay, so I was kind of getting off track here, but I just want to talk about what happens on Bourbon Street. Oh, I gotta tell, oh, this video's gonna get so long. So we went to Pat O'Brien's, which is the place that's known for hurricanes. And like the hurricanes are gross. Like it's literally just Kool-Aid and a bunch of rum, like a mix of white and dark rum. So they're gross. So lower your expectations about taste, but it has a lot of alcohol in it and they're decently cheap. But me and my friends, because we're raging alcoholics and just wanted the novelty of it, we bought a giant, like I wonder if if you're watching my stories on Instagram or whatever, this giant hurricane glass, like I'm just like going like, you look like this. If I had YouTube ability, I would show you a picture of it. Google it. There's a giant hurricane, and it had, I don't know how many shots in it. It cost like $175, I want to say, and they just put like a massive straws in the top, and we're all just like sucking from the top of this massive hurricane. And it took us like, I don't know how many hours to drink it. We were already had been drinking by the time we ordered this. This was night one. This was night one. And we drank it all. Oh my gosh. It was like towards the end, it was like a slog. I was like, are we gonna finish this? Like I'm like getting ready to like tap out because there was like this much left, and I was like, oh man, I can't drink any more hurricane. But like somehow we pulled it off. It was a miracle. I was so proud of us. It was so disgusting though. Like it was like bad life choice, but amazing memory and like worth it just for like the novelty factor. So I don't know if you have a group of friends who are alcoholics like mine. Like there's 6 of us that night. I recommend at least a couple more because that was tough to do. If you had like 8 people, that would probably be like perfect. And yeah, it's really fun. So go to Pat O'Brien's, get a hurricane. That's like one of the most well-known bars on Bourbon Street, and also yeah, just get a hurricane there. You don't have to get the big giant one. Okay, so we did that. That was our Thursday night. Extremely hungover. Friday, I booked a cemetery tour for us. Now, I kind of like think cemeteries are cool, and the ones in New Orleans are above ground, so they're just kind of like neat to see. So we went and did that. You can tour. There's so many different cemetery tours. Like I'm not gonna like recommend one over another because I feel like it's all kind of the same stuff. And they're different, slightly different places. Like there's cemetery. I want to say there's like number one. I don't know why these are the numbers, but there's like cemetery number one, cemetery number two, number three. It's like the original cemeteries. Anyway, the tour was like an hour. And the reason you have to book a tour is because if you want to go into the cemetery, you can't unless it's ticketed. Like it's not open to the public. You have to do it as part of a tour. It was neat. It was cool. I think it was like $30, I want to say. If you like cemeteries, do it. If you don't, skip it. That's all I have to say about that. Then trying to go through our itinerary in my mind. So Friday night, I think we just hit up Bourbon Street and did more drinking that night, as you do. And then Saturday we had torrential rain, I should mention. It was like a freaking like flash flood rain situation, which we did not expect. I was soaked. But every other time the weather was like super hot and nice. And then we did a swamp tour on Saturday, which was cool. And it was one of the more expensive things because it was $86 Canadian to go, but they do bus you out there and you go on like an hour-long tour in a swamp boat. It's very safe. It's like a big boat. Well, not huge, but like it's not a sketchy little boat. I was kind of nervous. I was like, I don't want to be on like a little boat with like fat Americans who are like reaching their hands into like crocodile and alligator infested waters. Like that feels like unsafe to me. So I was like I was like low key nervous that I was gonna fall in the water and have an alligator, have to wrestle an alligator and like try to survive. That was really unfounded. The boat is like medium size, and they have like bars on the front, so like people there's not like dumb tourists sticking their arms in. I was more worried about the tourists than anything. So, tourists like do stupid shit and then they like die on their holiday because they're just like don't follow the rules. So that's what was in my mind for some reason. But anyway, it was very safe and it was cool. We got to see some alligators and like see a swamp, which the swamp part was actually kind of cool to me because it looked exactly like you'd think a swamp would look like. Like it was very much like a movie set in my mind. It's just because it had like the hanging moss and it had like we saw some freaky spiders and snakes and like a giant grasshopper. So it was all like just stuff you don't see in Alberta, right? It was just like a completely different landscape. The bayou. And people just live there and they have a very different lifestyle. They showed us like the houseboats and stuff. So that was kind of cool. So I recommend doing the swamp tour. I don't know. I'm not going to recommend like which one to do. They're probably all kind of the same level of stuff. But the one we did was $86 and it was good. Then what did we do that night? I'm trying to remember. Oh, I think we went to the Lafitte's bar that night and we tried to do some bar stuff. We also went to like a pirate bar, which was like meh. We went to they have like a couple absinthe bars, absinthe houses, which I don't think we technically really made it to them. We don't really like absinthe. Like it's kind of tastes like black licorice, a little gross. So I don't think we really technically made it to those. But that was kind of one of the things we were gonna do. I don't remember what else we did Saturday night. Then Sunday, there was a pride parade on, and there was also that football game. So there was two simultaneous parades going on in the French Quarter, which was nuts, and it was awesome. So it was insane to watch. You should know that like it doesn't even matter what time of the year you're going to New Orleans. There's gonna be something on. Like there's never not like a festival. Like one of our tour guides was saying that like people book like 3 weeks in advance of Mardi Gras. So like, oh, we want to miss Mardi Gras, but they didn't know there's like they have like pre Mardi Gras festivals like leading all the way up. So they were like actually right in it. And then there's like parties after it too. So it's like you're never not gonna be there in party season. And like they even stretch out like different seasons. So like Halloween's like 10 days long. Cinco de Mayo is like a full 5 days. So like it doesn't matter when you go. Like there's gonna be something fun and awesome that you can like see that sounds super cool. So I want to go back for some more crazy stuff. They said they have like a sci-fi parade. Like I don't know, it's so cool. What a fun party! Like this whole city is built around tourism, so it's like they're there to entertain. Um, okay, so that was so yeah, it was crazy seeing like the sports teams and like all of the young kids coming in there and singing their chants and everything. That was super cool. Oh, I'm gonna go over time. I gotta talk less, guys. Oh my god. Okay, so ghost tours. We did. There's tons of ghost tours there. I'm not gonna tell you which one to pick, but I will say that they are big in nature. So there'll be like 30 people on a tour. So if you imagine like 30 people standing on the side of like a small street, then maybe I should. It's getting too long. Okay, I'm gonna stop it, you guys, and try and restart it because it's getting too long. I'll come back to talking about the ghost